Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. And we're starting with a really significant update for the PS5 Pro that was revealed yesterday by Mark Cerny. So this was actually broken down very well and concisely by Shinobi602. He says here, AMD's new FSR 4, co-developed with Sony as part of Project Amethyst, will be re-implemented for PS5 Pro as the next evolution of PSSR, coming to games in 2026 and beyond into next generation. Digital Foundry calls FSR a huge leap over FSR 3.1, very, very impressive, delivering quality wins over DLSS 3.7. Some areas DLSS 4 wins out, but we're delighted to see that FSR 4 is surprisingly competitive against NVIDIA's latest. Our target is to have something very similar to FSR 4's upscaler available on PS5 Pro for 2026 titles as the next evolution of PSSR, says Mark Cerny. The results are excellent. It's a more advanced approach that can exceed the crispness of PSSR. I'm very proud of the work of the joint team. Collaboration started in late 2023 when PSSR development was wrapping up. Short-term goal is to co-develop neural network architectures and training strategies for game graphics. We're stronger together than apart. The long-term goal is to create a more ideal hardware architecture for machine learning combined with AMD's expertise. The aim is for PS5 Pro's machine learning hardware to run comparable performance to FSR 4 without significant re-architecting with this new neural network. The tech has positive uses beyond PlayStation, supporting broad work in machine learning across a variety of devices. The biggest win is when developers can freely move their code from device to device, and then Mark Cerny at the end teases a possible path tracing implementation. And he says, all I can say is stay tuned. Now, I saw a lot of different conversations around this news yesterday, and it seems like people are not quite understanding what Mark Cerny is saying here. He's just simply trying to make it known that there's going to be an update to PSSR coming in 2026, and this PSSR version 2.0, I guess we can call it, is going to produce results that are pretty much on par with FSR 4. He's just kind of going deeper into what they're doing behind the scenes when it comes to how they're going to implement it on the PS5 Pro, talking about their neural networks and not having to re-architecture anything and whatnot. But when it's all kind of said and done, that's basically what he's conveying here. And I've been seeing truly some of the most bizarre takes on what he's coming out and saying here. And it's just very clear that a lot of people have literally no idea what they're talking about. In fact, I think it's safe to say that half the people commenting on this news did not actually read the interview between Mark Cerny and Digital Foundry. But overall, this is very good news for the PS5 Pro. Basically, if you're enjoying what you're seeing right now on the PS5 Pro and what we're going to continue to see throughout 2025, we're going to get a major update for this in 2026, where going forward, when developers use this newer version of PSSR, games are going to look even more impressive running on this console. So there you go. Wanted to be sure to let you guys know about that. But we're going to move on to the next topic, which is some new information about Naughty Dog's next title, Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet. These are some details that were shared by Neil Druckmann. He revealed these new details on a new creator-on-creator video that was released by Sony, and so he's letting us know that it takes place 2,000 years in an alternate future that deviated in the 1980s. He says that Naughty Dog spent years coming up with and detailing the timeline, and there was a portion in this interview where Druckmann was kind of joking, saying, "We made a game with The Last of Us 2, we made certain creative decisions that got us a lot of hate. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hated it." And Alex Garland actually said, "Who gives a shit?" And Neil Druckmann responds by saying, "Exactly. The joke is, let's go out and do something that people won't care about as much. Let's make a game about faith and religion." Now, this new religion apparently pops up and becomes prominent where this altered timeline deviates. According to Neil Druckmann, they spent years building this religion from the original prophet and how it changed and evolved over the centuries. The religion takes place on the planet Semperia, then all communication stops. Neil Druckmann says they wanted to make a game about being lonely. He says so many games we've done have been about there always being an ally with you, talking, really want you to get lost in a place that you're really confused about what happened here. Who are the people here? What is their story? No one has heard from Semperia in 600 years. Jordan, the main character, has to figure out what happened if she hopes to ever escape. So just a couple of new details there regarding Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet. And, I've been seeing, again, a lot of different reactions to what Neil Druckmann is saying here about the game. So, as we're getting these new details, really it's just going to be a matter of waiting to see when Naughty Dog wants to show more of it, show some gameplay. I think that's the big thing that everybody's waiting to find out. But yeah, it should be an interesting time when that occurs. But we're going to move on to the next topic here, which talks about PlayStation working on an AI-powered version of their characters and how parts of this technology can run on PlayStation 5 with little overhead. This is something that leaked yesterday, and yeah, the reactions are not very good, to say the least. It seems like Sony is not happy that this leaked out. It says here, Sony is working on AI-powered versions of PlayStation characters. The video, which was shared by The Verge by an anonymous tipster before it got taken down on YouTube, shows an AI-powered version of Horizon series protagonist Aloy that can respond to questions using synthesized voice and facial movements, both in a demo setting and during Horizon Forbidden West gameplay. The technology is powered by OpenAI's Whisper for speech-to-text and both GPT-4 and Llama 3 for conversations, is augmented by Sony's internal emotional voice synthesis system and by Mockingbird technology that handles audio-to-face animation. While this AI-powered version of Aloy was developed to show the technology internally, there's a very good chance that we will eventually see it implemented even on consoles, as parts of the technology can run directly on PS5 with little overhead. This glimpse of what the technology is capable of achieving doesn't exactly provide hints at how it could be implemented to enhance gaming experiences, but there's little doubt that it will impact future games considerably, considering the direction the industry is taking and how the PlayStation 6 in particular is said to go all out with AI. So yeah, I did see this video, and I don't know how many of you guys saw it, but it was fascinating. It was definitely something that I think when you just watch it, you're like, whoa, this is kind of creepy in a way. Like, the fact that you could just like have a conversation with Aloy, and even when they were showing the parts of playing in Forbidden West, you at any time could just talk to Aloy while you were playing as the character, which was very strange. And it's obviously got people feeling a bit freaked out, and a lot of people just straight up don't like what they're seeing. I have seen some reactions where people are kind of curious how this could maybe enhance some type of gameplay experience. But I also have no doubt that considering what we're seeing with this technology, this is something that's going to make its way into games. And it's not just going to be Sony, right? I think we have to understand that this is something that's going to become relatively normal in the future with a lot of games. My only real question here is, how are we going to make it not weird, right? Because the biggest thing that I just couldn't quite understand when watching this video is like, how does this really improve the gameplay experience, right? Like, I'm just trying to imagine, like, you're playing Horizon 3 and, you have a built-in microphone on the DualSense. You can just at any moment while you're playing the game, have a conversation with Aloy, right? I don't know what I don't know what the implications of that are in terms of gameplay. It's kind of hard to imagine that ultimately being a good thing and not a detrimental thing. But yeah, Sony's definitely not happy that this leaked out. They are trying to scrub all traces of this very quickly, and you can understand why, because this was an internal demo, and it doesn't necessarily mean that what we're seeing here is how it's going to be implemented in the future for games, but I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about this. We're going to move on to the final topic of the video, which is just another update on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. We actually are now getting the specific date that this game is going to launch next month and the different versions. This is once again coming from Bill Bilkoon of Dia Labs, and as of right now, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is set to release on April 17th. Next month, but there is going to be an early access premium edition once again for $100 that will give you access to the game starting April 15th. And so it is worth noting that according to Bill Bilkun, there are going to be physical versions of this game, which is great to see. And if you want just a regular copy, it's going to be $70. So seems like this announcement is coming very soon from Microsoft, but it leaked out a little bit early here. So there you go. That's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.